Hi, I'm Adrienne Hill with Build a Life by Design. And if you're feeling like it's kind of overly complicated, the idea of finding people to talk to on social media, and if you want to simplify getting more leads, more prospects, and ultimately more sales from social media, you're in the perfect place. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the simple strategy that you can use to scatter lead magnets in 33 different places across social media platforms without having to be super techy or spend a lot of money on tech tools or ads. So let's do this.
Striving for a business breakthrough? Shortcut your learning curve to success with the right training, coaching, and support. Welcome to the Impactful Entrepreneurs Show with Adrienne Hill, a show for coaches, course creators, and network and affiliate marketers striving to earn six figures by leveraging social media without being slaves to their businesses. From an overworked hustler to an impactful entrepreneur, your journey starts here on the Impactful Entrepreneurs Show.
Today, I am here with Allison Hardy. I'm super excited because she is the creator of the Six Figure Mompreneur podcast, and she's a lead generation expert. And so when it comes to getting leads and sales on social, you have to start with the leads. So this is perfect. I'm super excited about your expertise area. I can't wait to dig in. So welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Adrienne. I'm excited to be here.
Great. So for those of you who maybe haven't met you yet and don't know much about you, can you tell us a little bit about your story and what brought you here with us today?
Yeah, so my entrepreneurial journey started when I got laid off at 6 months pregnant with or from my dream job. I was teaching college level art. Sounds very crazy from where I am now. And, I'd done all the right things. I checked all the boxes. I had the fancy job and the fancy office, and I did everything I was supposed to do. And at 6 months pregnant with my first, I no longer had that job. So I had to get really creative really fast. Started a business, transitioned that business again, transitioned that business again. And I kind of took all that expertise from everything I had done. And it's kind of just all culminated into this business I have now, which is helping women and more specifically, mom entrepreneurs figure out their lead generation process so that they can actually sell to people who actually want to buy their products and their services.
I love that. And I can identify with so much of what you've said. I've been laid off in the past. I've pivoted in my business 6 times. Like, who else watching is kind of nodding right now? Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
oh my gosh.
Well, I'm really glad that that it put you on this path and this trajectory because, lead gen is super important when it comes to growing your business. So tell us a little bit about the different strategies you could use to create organic lead generation, like free leads. Free is always the best, right?
I mean, who doesn't want free leads, right?
Yeah.
One of the main things people want. Lead generation, I think oftentimes is way overcomplicated. And so for me and how I kind of approach lead generation, I approach it from an active standpoint for sure. There's definitely like an active component, but there's also a really kind of amazing passive component that a lot of people forget about. And that's utilizing the platforms that you already have for lead generation. So you can strategically place your lead magnet in different places within all these platforms that you're using. So Instagram, Facebook groups, Facebook like profile, business page, all the places where we show up in the online space, we can utilize in a really effective way your lead magnet to present it in a non-spammy, non-pushy way, and to present with just like, hey, I can help you in this area. Do you want to download my free gift type of thing? Like super easy, feels good for everybody involved. And as far as I'm concerned, that's what dreams are made of.
Yeah, I love that. So for those people who maybe aren't familiar with that term, lead magnet, can you kind of dissect what that is and are they all the same? Can they look different? Like, take us through a little bit of that.
Yeah, so lead magnet is basically something that is free, that's high value, that helps someone to either like move forward, get a quick win, or just gives them really valuable information. So like a webinar can be a lead magnet, a checklist, a swipe file, any of those things that we've all downloaded them probably. Like you see a Facebook ad pop up and it's like for this free thing and you're like, oh, that sounds cool. You click on it. a form pops up, put your name, email address in, and then that thing gets delivered to your email address. So that person has given you really cool value, really amazing value that's designed to really show you that they're an expert in whatever field it is in exchange for your email address.
Okay. It can take many forms, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite? Like, do you have a go-to? I'm just curious.
Yeah. I like webinars and I like guides or like checklists.
Okay.
I like webinars because they're really high value, but it is hard to get like a perfect stranger off the internet to come to an hour-long webinar.
Yeah.
So my other thing is kind of like checklists or guides that's designed to give you like a quick, easy win because it's a little easier sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Okay. So they can be vastly different, all
Yeah.
kinds of different ways. So depending on what your expertise area is, there's all kinds of ways you could create lead magnets.
Absolutely. And your lead magnet, though, should also be like whoever your ideal client is, your lead magnet should be presented in the way that they want. So like a lot of my ideal clients, I work with mom entrepreneurs, they love a good checklist. They like to check things off and feel really productive. Whereas other people, maybe like fitness people, if they're like a personal trainer, maybe like videos are better for them because of how the information needs to be relayed. So that's something to think about when you're considering developing a lead magnet.
Yeah, it's almost like speaking someone's love language. Like you don't speak to them with your language, you speak to them with their language. So
Yeah.
I love that. Okay. So what are some underutilized places on social media, various platforms, where people can promote these lead magnets?
Yeah. I mean, so before I like tell you specific places, like get creative. Like we're smart people. We use these platforms. Each platform has these nuances, and let's be honest, platforms are always changing. So whenever like there's a new feature or a new thing that arises, think like, how can I utilize this? How can I present my lead magnet in this area? How can I take this new feature and really maximize it for my benefit and to grow my email list? So I want to say that before I dive in. I think that a lot of times we forget about that. We forget to be creative. We forget to utilize these platforms in really creative ways. So one of my most favorite places is, now I'm not a huge fan of using my personal Facebook profile for business.
Yeah.
And it's also like, against the terms and conditions of Facebook.
Right.
But if someone is considering working with you, odds are they're probably going to friend request you on Facebook and like dig a little bit deeper, right? So we might as well use that platform for our benefit. So underneath of our profile pictures, there's something called featured pictures now, and you can select up to 5 photos. What I would recommend you do is create a photo that has something like, hey, download my free gift, whatever it is. You create it in Canva. Maybe it's like Canva is a free graphic design platform we can use. And you do one featured photo and it's that. So what it does is it just kind of leads with, hey, I have this free thing. It's super cool. Do you want to download it? And someone can click on it and then it opens up like the description of the lead magnet. So you can put the link in there. It's clickable. And it's just a really easy way to put your lead magnet in the forefront. So that's one place. Yeah, that's one place I think that works really well. Another one is in your Facebook group. So if you have a Facebook group, it's a great tool for lead generation. And I know not everybody has Facebook groups, but I'm a huge fan of a Facebook group. Mm-hmm. So when someone requests to join your group, you can prompt them with a series of questions, and you can do up to 3. And I would recommend at least one of those questions be, hey, I have a free gift for you. It's called the blah, blah, blah guide. You can download it here, and you drop the link in that questions. So people either write, cool, this is great, thanks so much, no thanks. Some people will drop their email address, copy and paste that baby and send it to them. It's a great place to really kind of lead with, hey, I'm an expert in this thing. You're joining my Facebook group. I can help you in this area. Yeah. And when someone can be on your email list and get continual value from you, be in your Facebook group and get continual value from you, they're going to really, like, you're going to be everywhere to them. You're going to be like the person in their ear. And that's, it's kind of what we want when we first meet someone in the online space. So those are 2 spaces. Do you want more?
Yeah. I mean, well, I'm guessing the audience is probably loving this and they're like, where else? Like,
okay.
Those are so simple things. Like anyone can do that.
Super easy. And you can literally watch this video and then you can be like, oh, I'm going to go change a question in my Facebook group. It's super actionable. It's super easy. And you can implement this stuff that I'm talking about in like a day. It doesn't have to take long. It's not this big, long process. It's actually pretty easy to do. So a last place can be like your Instagram bio. So I know a lot of times in the feed, nothing's clickable in the feed. So you have to say like, visit the link in my bio. And a lot of times what people do is they're constantly changing that link for like the post of the day. So instead of doing that, why don't you create a page on your website? You can call it yourwebsite.com/links. And that just lives there. It lives as your bio link. And let's say that page has like a couple of different things on it. So it can be like, download my free guide, which is your lead magnet. It can be like, join my Facebook group, listen to my podcast, 3 things, right? Yeah. But essentially each one of those are lead magnets too. So your Facebook group's a lead magnet, your podcast is a lead magnet, and your lead magnet is a lead magnet. Right. So it's a great, so like you're not constantly having to like do that weird, messy switching around of the link in the bio. It's just all there, and it's a great place for people to get to know you. And it's also, like it's just easier. I'm all about making everybody's life easier. Yeah.
Well, and what I love about these, number one, they're easy, right? Like anyone can do this. But number two, like if people are showing up in your Facebook group, they're into that topic. They're into what you're talking about. So give them more of what they want, right?
Yeah.
If they're clicking on your bio link on Instagram, because you said, hey, to learn more, click here. They do want to learn more. They are into it. They're there for a reason. Like give them what they want. Like, that the people getting there are interested.
Right. They're totally qualified. Yeah.
You have decided to take action and be like, I'm going to click this thing. Like they're into it. So that's awesome. Yeah. So those are all like great free organic ways to get leads. But do you ever use paid lead generation? And like, what's a healthy mix, I guess, of organic and paid?
Yeah. I use a lot of paid lead gen because I have 2 small kids and I don't have a lot of time. So for me, it works well for me and for my business. Now I do have to say, like, it doesn't work. I think it works for every business. You have to be ready for it. So if your lead gen isn't so hot organically, I would argue it's not going to be so hot paid. So like once you have an organic lead generation process down and you know what works, then it's probably time to introduce some paid. So I think, as much effort as you put into organic, I think you could put as much effort into paid. I'm also not a fan of putting all of your eggs in one basket. So like, for example, I had a woman in my mastermind this year, her main lead gen was Facebook ads. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I get it. I understand it. Like she's a mom of 3. She's really, really busy. And she does not love to actively work her business. She likes to work in a very sort of passive way, which is fine. But her account got disabled. So that means her business stalled for like 3 weeks. And there was no reason as to why it got disabled. But when those things happen, you're kind of at the mercy of Facebook, which
Facebook is kind of known for doing that for no good reason. Like,
it is.
I know tons of people who they didn't do anything wrong. It just happened.
Yeah. And I know there's like things you can do and you should have more than one ad account, but she didn't. And that's like, we're moving on from it. But like her business came to a halt. So like, for me, I think you should have at least 3 lead generation sources. One of them should be paid. I don't think all 3 of them should be paid. Okay. Because you don't own it. You don't own social media. You own your website, you own your email list, which is great. But that's really it. So you want to make sure that you are building your business in a way that's sustainable. You want to make sure that you're connecting with ideal clients in multiple ways because different people consume things differently. So if like Pinterest is a lead generator for you, you're probably going to attract a very different audience on Pinterest than you are on like a Facebook ad, just because of how that marketing works, which is fine. Either way, you're going to get people, but it's just good to kind of diversify those lead gen sources.
Okay. Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. So now I'm super curious, what's your favorite organic lead generation location?
Right now, I kind of have 2. So Pinterest is doing really well for me. And my Facebook group always has done really well for me. And I fall like honestly, I fall like in and out of love with my Facebook group. But at the end of the day, it's always been like a really great lead generator. So it will never go anywhere. It's just amazing. Yeah. And then for me, for paid advertising, Instagram story ads always outperform everything else.
Really?
I think it's good. And again, I think it's because my audience is mom entrepreneurs. Like the feed is cool, but like they like the behind the scenes stuff. And so that's what Instagram stories do.
They prefer the stories. That totally makes sense.
Like considerable. Like it's crazy the cost per lead, like versus like Instagram story versus Instagram feed. The cost per lead is always so different. And it's the same thing. It's not like it's like different audiences, different creative. It's usually the same thing. So it's really interesting.
That's crazy. So like you'll run an ad and you'll specifically like you'll choose not to run it to any feeds, only stories.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing more and more people talk about getting some really good traction with Pinterest too. So, and well, I love Pinterest because it's more evergreen. Like a post will last way longer on Pinterest.
Yeah. And like with Instagram and Facebook paid advertising, you're relying on someone to like stop the scroll. Like that's kind of like the deal with those. Like you have to be catchy enough, you have to be engaging enough, you got to do something to catch their attention and make them stop. Whereas Pinterest, they're searching for it. So it's kind of like what you were saying earlier, they're a qualified audience. So it's just different. It's just a different way of marketing. And I think they're both totally valid. But they do both have their pros and cons for sure.
Yeah. I love it. So thank you so much for all these actionable tips. I'm super excited about them. I do understand you have a free gift for our viewers. Do you want to tell us about it?
Yeah. So it's called 33 places to promote your lead magnet. So today I shared with you 3 or 4 places to promote your lead magnet organically. It's 33. So 33 different places that of like probably already existing platforms that you have that you're not utilizing as well as you could be. So it goes through them, gives you some examples, super easy.
I love that. Well, the first 3 were so easy, like literally in less than a day, you could have all 3 of them going. So imagine if you had 33, like quick, easy, get on it type things that I assume you kind of cover a wide range of places. So that's awesome.
For sure.
Very cool. So, for the viewers out there, be sure to grab the free gift. This is going to really give you a boost in, like, if you have good content, you're just kind of struggling to get those leads. This is going to be perfect for you, right? It's going to show you exactly where to get all of them and where to promote, make places maybe that you just never even thought of, right? And then be sure to join us in the Facebook group, because after every single interview, we do a debrief and we talk about what did you learn? What was your aha moment? What action are you going to take? Which of the 33 places are you going to be, boosting? So be sure to join the conversation there. And thank you so much, Allison, for joining us. I'm super, super excited about everything you taught us about lead gen. And I'm really excited for people to get some results.
Me too. I can't wait to see them all.
You've been listening to the Impactful Entrepreneurs Show with Adrienne Hill, where we support coaches, course creators, and network and affiliate marketers to translate their big picture vision into actionable plans to build out their business efficiently. If you love our show, we invite you to visit buildalifebydesign.com to join the conversation, access the show notes, and discover more helpful resources. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, review, and share. Thank you for listening.